Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for tuning in as always. Today the dragons want to say something and I do not know what they want to share with all of us, but I have my cards with me and I'm going to use them to see what messages the dragons want to address in this transmission. So let's get started. Let me pull some cards. First card that I pulled is the Lemurian seed codes. And then there's a card from another deck, which interestingly I just realized this is the Beyond Lemuria deck. This is the deck that I'm using in case anybody wants to know. I've gotten a lot of questions about this deck in the past when I've used them, so that is the deck that I felt called to use today, along with this Gateway of Light activation deck that also have had a lot of questions about the deck. So interesting. First card is the Lemurian seed codes, and then I'm going to pull one card from the Beyond Lemuria deck, which, sorry, my finger, New Blueprints. And the first thing that's coming to me right now, it feels like a new paradigm. And you've all heard about the new earth, you've all heard about the golden age. I don't need to talk about that, but it does seem like, how should I put it? There's a lot of talk about the new earth and, you know, collectively we're shifting into this new paradigm, but I think we still don't yet fully comprehend the extent or how big this shift is. And this shift is not just a shift. It is actually a complete overhaul of the old paradigms and a template level shift into something that is almost completely new, like something we've never experienced before. It is a combination of very ancient wisdom and also very galactic wisdom that is coming through. The unification, the convergence, the harmonification of all these energies that is birthing this new paradigm. And this shift is a shift in consciousness. Like, it's a shift in collective consciousness. It's a shift in the bandwidth of the frequency that we will live in as we move ahead. And it almost feels very foreign. I can't really put words into what it looks like, but it looks very, very futuristic. I think that's not even the right word to explain how it feels like, but basically very new. And we won't, it's like when you step into this frequency bandwidth, you will look back at your old life and you will ask yourself, how was I even living that life? There's just, it's like a complete system reset and a complete system upgrade that you shift from like version 1 to version 10 in one go. It's like a, what's the term called? Leapfrogging? I think that's the term that people use in like startup communities especially. Well, that was back in those days when I was still in the startup community. So anyway, yeah, leapfrogging, it's basically the growth is not linear, and it's like we just skipped, like quantum leaping, I guess, if that's the term. I don't know, to be honest. These words feel very foreign to even use in this sense, because like words just feel like it's limiting the potential of something. But then at the same time, for us to, in a sense, comprehend it with our existence now, we need these words. So it's yeah, like take all of these, whatever I'm saying, not like on a surface level, especially with words that I use. A lot of the times these words don't fully transmit and encapsulate the vision that I'm seeing or the feeling that I'm feeling. So new blueprints, there are new blueprints that a lot of us are actually weaving together in the background. I feel like a lot of this work is being done by many, you can call grid workers, light workers, even shadow workers, the term, clearing things in the field and clearing things within themselves. I mean, as a light worker, you're also a shadow worker. You're not, these two, I guess, identities are not, or labels are not separate. They're actually the same. Like, it's just two sides of the same coin, because the shadow is the light and the light is the shadow. So a lot of this is happening in the background. It's not necessarily something that you consciously are aware of. You might have an inkling that this is happening, and a lot of the times you are actually doing that within yourself, for yourself first, because the collective shift is a reflection of the shift that we have within us individually. So therefore, we have to shift. Something within us has to shift. These upgrades have to happen. These new blueprints have to be installed within us first, in our being, and then whatever that's going to happen in the collective is simply just a reflection of whatever has happened to us individually. So what I'm feeling, especially for myself as well, is that I'm going through this complete overhaul of a lot of things, like a lot of things. It's not just belief system wise, it's also yeah, like the whole worldview of life, of Earth, of this existence is going through a complete overhaul. And there will be days where I feel like I'm in between the old and the new, like I'm in between these old systems or these old bandwidths of frequencies, and then I'd be in the new one, and it's like tapping into these two at the same time, and sometimes it can feel like jarring, or you're looping back to something, but then there's also another part of you that knows that is looping back to the old bandwidths. And these whole time loop and like cycles and the looping interface is something that I have been receiving a lot lately. And obviously I have to go through that myself in order to then understand what it is and in future share it with you. So yeah, in this whole system overhaul, obviously the clearance has to happen first before the new blueprints get downloaded, get installed into our system. You can't just, it's like if your laptop is filled with viruses, you can't just upgrade it into a new software and expect it to work as if nothing has happened because the virus is still going to be there. So the clearing needs to happen first. And another analogy is like if you have a wound, right, and you just put a plaster over it, expect that it will heal when you haven't even treated it, and then the next time you're going to rip it open again, you're going to realize that, oh, it's still there because you didn't treat it in the first place. You didn't clean it, you didn't take care of it. So like you got to scrub it down first before the new blueprints can then stabilize in our field. So we are like the carrier of this new earth. We are the mothers of the new earth. We carry these codes within us, and it is us as a collective that will birth this paradigm shift. It's not someone else. It's not the government. It's not the future leaders. It's not some guru or God. No, it's us, and it starts here with us. And so you might be experiencing things like that in your life where you just feel like you need to retreat and maybe leave the place that you are currently living in because these energies are not conducive for this system overhaul. It is not conducive for what's to come. So it doesn't mean that you are not going to come back here forever. If, for example, this is where you are born and raised, it doesn't mean that you're going to leave this place forever. Like, it's just for now, as you stabilize these new codes, these new blueprints and interfaces in your system, then like you need the space alone or a different environment that can support that, and not necessarily support like having friends or communities to support you, but it is actually the space for yourself. You need this almost like you're in a cocoon, right? And like nobody touches you because you need to stabilize into your own self, into your own worldview, because in our developmental years we've been programmed to believe so many things, and a lot of these things are not even ours to begin with. It's not our original blueprint. So as we are restoring the original blueprint, there's also these new blueprints that are coming through our vessel, and we all carry these codes of this new shift, this paradigm shift. So yeah, now it's coming through more clearly about Lemuria. So like what I said before already, it feels like a convergence, a merging, a harmonification of ancient and galactic. And in fact, ancient civilizations were very closely related to the galactic civilizations. Yeah, yesterday I received a lot of information about the hybrids. Again, it hasn't been coming through a lot lately, but then suddenly an influx of remembrance and yeah, just recollection of certain memories I've had about hybrids. And in fact, yeah, we're all hybrids. It's I don't know if this topic is a topic to be addressed here in this video. Maybe if you want to know more about it, I can share a little bit more in a separate video, so let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, the ancient civilizations are very closely related to the galactic civilizations. So that's why, you know, that's why it's not new, but yet at the same time, it is a lot of new information or wisdom that we haven't received yet before in these ancient civilizations that are coming through now. So it feels new, but yet at the same time ancient, but then they're not separate because the ancient is so closely related. And anyway, time is not linear. Like the past, like what's the past? The past could be the future. So yeah, okay. Let me pull one more card. The dragons. Temple of Truth. Funny that this gate is actually it looks like the shape of the Balinese gate, like the Balinese temples. They have gates like that. Waterfall, mountains, and it says authentic self-expression and truth. Okay, so this has come up, I guess, in some of the videos before about, you know, speaking your truth. I think the truth is coming up a lot lately, as maybe you might have been tuning into, or you might have seen people talk about things not just in the spiritual community, but like in all aspects of life. Truth cannot be hidden forever. The truth will expose itself one day, even if we are not being told the truth. But it's coming very soon. That's the message that I'm getting. It's like the truth is revealing itself, and it's actually quite blatantly there. Especially with a lot of things that are termed conspiracy, which then links to this whole collapse of the worldview, which is reminding me of something I channeled maybe end of 2023 or 2022, I don't know, about how things will like collapse, crumble. And what they mean by that is that everything that is not built on the truth will begin to give way, because lies won't last forever. And what has been intentionally distorted are now being cleared and are now revealing its truth. So that is the message about truth. So be, I guess, just be aware of these things. You probably can feel it in your field with regards to certain things that are being said. Okay, and then there is now this card that I didn't intentionally want to, like, I wasn't intentionally drawing a card, but I flipped and then I saw this and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is it. Communication and co-creation. This is a very beautiful card, by the way. And I don't know what about this card, but the elongated head, what it immediately made me think of was telepathy. More and more, we're going to be communicating telepathically. And I don't know if you feel it, but for me personally, I've been observing this a lot in my life, where I receive something and then I will sort of not want to immediately tell the person. I kind of want to like see what happens within the next couple of hours or couple of days, and within the next few days they'll text me and they'll text me about the exact same thing, and I would be like, funny that a couple of days ago I literally saw this vision of, you know, the exact same thing that you said. And it didn't just happen once, it happened many times. And that is actually what the future is going to be like for us. And, you know, it links to this whole truth thing, because you can't hide the truth when you're communicating telepathically. Like, everything is just there. The moment you think about it, somebody picks up on it, or that person that you're going to communicate with picks up on it. And maybe what you say out of your mouth is not that was communicated telepathically. So that can cause a little bit of like confusion, like, I thought this was what I received, but then this person said this, but actually it's not, because whatever you received wasn't accurate, but because they're not fully saying the truth. They might not be intentionally lying or doing it for like some agenda, but you know, we do this. We do this as humans. So just be truthful and be authentic, and because this is frequency communication now. Like, people pick up on things, and even if you don't say it out, they feel the subtlety of what is going on. That is why a lot of the times these transmissions don't really need to be fully explained to the T, but felt more than these words that are coming through. Another part about co-creation is coming through, and it's interesting that telepathy came first and then co-creation came, like, to me at least, as I'm channeling, because in this new age co-creation thing, it's not about what you get, what I get. Like, that is a very old way of doing things. It is not like that anymore. It is just the role that we each play, and you cannot calculate it to the quantity that, okay, like, in this project you're gonna put in this and you're gonna put in this percentage, and then, you know, this is how we're gonna split, and like, none of that anymore, because everything is pretty much qualitative. There's no such thing as equal to the quantity, but more so energetically. And it is very important to be very truthful, and to always communicate in these co-creations, because even though, yes, telepathic communication is going to be a thing, but when we're in the transition states, that's where, like, the telepathy and the communication kind of needs to align. So, because like I said, if somebody is tapping into something, but then you're saying something else, that becomes, there's a dissonance there, right? And it sort of like messes up with the energetics a little bit. So as we move forward with this whole thing, because like whatever we think about contracts or agreements and stuff like that, they are not going to be needed anymore. And what it really boils down to is integrity, truth, and trust within each other, amongst, you know, whoever's co-creating whatever. So therefore, open communication, truthful communication is very important. If you're feeling something, you need to talk about it. And if you feel like something's not right, it needs to be expressed, and in a sense resolved, to be able to like be on the same frequency, to be on the same page. I don't know why this is coming through. It's interesting. I guess it links to what we're going to be doing together in the future, as in collectively there's going to be a lot of co-creation that is happening. And yeah, I guess I know why this is coming through now. It's because it's not going to be like a one-man show anymore where, you know, this, I don't know, organization is the monopoly, or, you know, there are only a couple of people who in a sense control certain resources. Or no, like it's gonna be like open source, and projects are not gonna be who owns the project anymore. It's actually gonna be collective, like we own it collectively. So yeah, there's been I don't know if it's time to reveal this, but then the message is, I mean, it's just coming out now, so I guess it is. A little bit of a teaser is this, I've been receiving this like sanctuary thing for almost maybe 2 years now. I told some people about it, never really shared a lot of details, because not because I don't want to share, but because I haven't received a lot of details. I just know that at some point there will be a co-creation, because it's, even though I'm receiving the message, but it's not mine. It's going to be a collective effort for those who are meant to be a part of this thing. I feel like all these messages are not new. I don't know why they want to come through. I was just like, I finished my yoga practice today and my meditation, and then suddenly the dragons came and they're like, we want to talk. And I was, okay, cool, what are you going to talk about? And then they told me to pick some cards, and a lot of grid lines, like dragon lines, are being restored right now. And it's part of this whole like clearing and reinstating the divine blueprint, the original blueprint of these things. A lot of like broken energetic bridges, things that are siphoned, are being restored right now. So I guess it is all part of this paradigm shift that we're going to be experiencing. So thank you so much for receiving this, and thank you so much for being a part of it. Even if you feel like you're not really doing anything, like traveling, or, you know, in a sense doing what people call grid work, light work, even though you feel like you're doing none of that, just know that by tuning into this frequency, you are doing something. So thank you so much. Before I go, something that is very, very related to this theme, actually, is the upcoming journey in Egypt. When I was receiving the messages and the mission of this trip, it is actually very much whatever that just came through today. There is a lot of clearing that is needed in these temples in Egypt, in the land. There's a lot of overlays that we need to clear, so this trip is going to be doing that, and it's calling out very specific individuals, because it's not just clearing these overlays and distortions, but it's also restoring the grid lines. And you don't really need to know what it is that we're going to be doing there. In fact, your very presence does the work itself. And this is actually something very related to the new earth, this paradigm shift. This investment into this trip, it's not just the act of money being spent. Is actually grid work in itself. And whatever that you're feeling with this amount of money that you're going to be putting into this trip, it's not just a commitment to your truth. It's not just a commitment to your path. It's not just a commitment to humanity, but it is also, in a sense, stirring something within you that is being cleared away, like certain programmings around money that is outdated, that is, in a sense, created to keep us stuck in a loop, to keep us stuck in a system. Fear. It's triggering all this, stirring up all this inside, so that it clears it, and then the new blueprints of money comes through. So this amount that you invest in is also an investment into the systems of the new earth. I know that, words, like, it's hard to grasp, but tune into the frequency. I invite you to tune into the frequency of it. It's because it's not just, this money is going into something like the sanctuary or something, like, it's not just that, but it's quite literally the energy that's going into building the frequencies of this new paradigm. And a lot of things with regards to this monetary system, a lot of things in terms of the trust that you have with yourself, a lot of things that are stirring up in this journey, and even before this journey, is actually very much linked to the anchoring of the foundations, like the clearing of the old structures, and then the anchoring of the foundations of these new structures that are coming through. So I'll let you sit with that, and if you need any more information, the link is in the description box below. It is by application only, so after you apply, that is where I will go through it, and then we will have a chat to see if this is the right trip for you. That is it. Thank you so much for receiving this. Thank you so much for doing the work, even if you think you're not doing anything. You are, and it is always my absolute pleasure to tune in and to do this. So thank you so much for your support as well, and I will see you in the next one.